Hey everybody, I apologize. This YouTube mobile app has a nasty bug in it that YouTube's really got to fix. What happens is that, I'll explain this and then I'll talk about Doug Liman. I have, or had, two live streams scheduled that I've had it before. In this case, I had the live streams that I did about the Raiders, then WonderCon right behind that. And going to start the WonderCon live stream, instead of it just going right into the live stream, it acted as if the live stream was not wanting to form. It froze. So it started and it froze. And there was a couple of people, it's John Marks and ML Scott, who were waiting and they would see me and then note that the screen went black or would freeze. Okay. And so I went to stop that stream, start a new one, and trying to record my thumbnail. Instead of, after counting down 3, 2, 1, the system taking my photograph, it counted 3, 2, 1, and then 3, 2, 1 again. And then it got caught in a loop doing that, a program loop, right? 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. So I then stupidly, foolishly tried another time to make another stream, and the same thing kept happening again. So I thought maybe it was because my phone was tethered to the Wi-Fi. So I disconnected it from that. And no. Finally, I narrowed the problem down to a really nasty problem, a really nasty issue where this app actually saves what I would call a ghost of your previous video, right? And it would, in saving this ghost, it may have what is reported to be an incomplete version. So you will see a note saying error processing upload. But if you look down your video list, that live stream was posted. So you can make a mistake, and I've done this twice, of in trying to clear that cache of seemingly incomplete videos or live streams, you wind up taking down a live stream that was completed. That happened twice. The second time was a moment ago. Fortunately, the interview that I did with the live stream interview I did with Oakland Councilman Rebecca Kaplan, I recorded a hard copy of, and now I'm re-uploading that one. But it's a real headache. The way they've designed this app this time around is not, it drives you nuts. You have to actually make sure that your queue of past videos is completely clear. There's no ghost. So if you are looking at your app, your YouTube app, and you check out the list of videos and you see videos that are grayed, where they're faint, and they have these little notifications on the bottom of them that read error processing upload, well, chances are not really. If you see more than one of those lists for the same video, get rid of the older versions until you get to the one that matches the video that you have that's actually active in the list. That makes sense? Leave it alone. Leave it alone until YouTube can really clear this problem. This is a gigantic problem. It has caused me serious delays on a number of occasions. This one being the second one, because when there's no cache, when the cache is cleared, I can go from one live stream to the other like that, and I should be able to do that. Even if the previous one is processing, there should be some sort of dual processing code so that it takes one live stream that's being processed, puts it over here, lets that one do its thing, and then has enough memory to start a new one. Okay? It should be able to do that. Because right now, it doesn't have the memory to do that. What happens is that these things get stacked on top of each other. The live stream that you're trying to do freezes. It freezes. So that's what I'm explaining. You have to, hey, I'm going to call you Go CSU. You have to pick one handle and stick with it, because the current handle is Bible Study with PJ. That's great. But my whole point is, give us one name and stick with the name. Right now I'm a little exasperated, so you're just getting, all right. But anyway, my point is that, hey ML, I'm glad you're sorry about what happened with the stream. I'm glad you're doing Bible study online, by the way. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to get upset with you when you're, okay? All right, my point is that, ML, I think you saw this when I was on, and then it froze, right? That's what I was dealing with. It's like, it's this freezing thing. And yeah. So what I'm doing right now is I've got my WonderCon film editor that's uploading a new version of my Rebecca Kaplan interview. Okay. And then I'm going to have that upload when that's done. I'm going to talk about Doug Liman and WonderCon now. And as I do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Edit Video, and then I'm going to go and take the nifty text that I wrote that was supposed to be that was supposed to make up the video description, which then turns into a blog post. After the video processes, I have to reinstall that. So I'm going to reinstall that, okay? And if it sounds like I'm annoyed, I am really massively annoyed, because this is just the one thing that YouTube really needs to really spend time improving. You know, I love YouTube. YouTube has done a lot for my life, without question. But it doesn't mean that I have to put up with this app that's inefficient. And then I don't want to use the Wirecast Pro for the desktop, and the reason why I don't want to use the Wirecast Pro for the desktop is that it's not clear, in terms of its design. It doesn't produce a clear image when I need it the most, all right? So, all right, now that I got that, I think, pretty much heavily off my chest, and I've now realized, oh great, I've got to reopen that one, recent documents. See, I had this great piece that I wrote about Doug, now I'm pissed off, about WonderCon and Doug Liman, and it was completely fully done, right? And it's not fully done. Now I'm mad about that. So what I'm going to do is, while I'm talking to you about this, I'm going to go back to the mail and get my original, this is real time, folks, and get my original email that I was pouring into this. It was because so folks, if you are at all looking at this and saying, should I try YouTube live stream? Well, chances are you have, if you're Richard Hike, you've done it. You've not had a problem with it, right? But because you've done it on my channel right here. But I would say, yes, don't. And this always didn't happen. It's the subsequent updates of this app or such that these problems have occurred. And I don't get I don't know what they've done programmatically, such that I'm experiencing these problems all of a sudden. I can just tell you it's freaking annoying. It really is. Um, so, all right. All right, so now I've taken that part. I found the part that I had originally put in to the text. Boom. And I've added it back. Now I'm taking all of this and doing a copy and a paste right in here like that, okay? So those of you who are waiting for me to talk about Doug Liman, I'm really mad about this. You can basically mark this at the 10:46 point and say, okay, then he starts talking about Doug Liman, and I'll do this at 10 minutes and 46 seconds into this. So here we go, all right? Now that I got that off my chest, now that I am primed and ready to discuss this awesome program that's going to come to WonderCon a week from tomorrow. That's right, a week from tomorrow. For those of you who are familiar with this man, Doug Liman, and his work, specifically the Bourne Identity. Yep, that's right. The Bourne Identity. One of my favorite movies of all time called Go, with Katie Holmes, among others. Katie Holmes it had in it, and a couple of other stars. And then Swingers. Remember Swingers? And Swingers introduced us to Jon Favreau, right? If you remember Edge of Tommorrow with Tom Cruise, okay? Those movies, and many more, as they say, were created by Doug Liman. And Doug Liman is now bringing his unique vision and awesome success to the big screen on YouTube. That's right. He is coming to YouTube. And it is a program called Impulse. And Impulse is, and I really want to see how he does this. First of all, you might be asking yourself, why is a guy who has made these low-budget films and then made a lot of money off of them coming to YouTube after making like 28 million on, I think it was Swingers, when it only cost him 4 million to make. Do you realize his first movie, not Swingers, was it Swingers that he made his 4 million? Yeah. But anyway, there was another movie that he made, only cost him 200,000 to make. No, that was Swingers. Only cost him 200,000 to make, and he cleared several million off that. And he made that with Jon Favreau, but Jon Favreau didn't know he made so much money, and so he didn't talk to him after that because he was so mad, right? Anyway, why would a guy who specializes in making little budget movies, not teeny is like 100,000 in range, but little budget movies, which then clear a lot of money, come to YouTube? And it speaks to the state of media today. Everything is microed because of digital media. But also, you can, if you have the right deals and you have enough money to spend, hit a large enough audience on YouTube to clear a significant return on your investment, if not greater. And how many viral videos have we seen? How many well-distributed movies have we seen on YouTube that have gone on to, become part of pop culture? And how many have we heard about that because of YouTube, that prior to YouTube didn't even see the light of day? Like, for example, The Thinning. You only knew about The Thinning because of YouTube and Jake Paul, the vlogger, right? That's it. But now, because of his antics and all that, and because of YouTube's, I think, really smart marketing of the thinning and also of him. I think all those posts where he was doing things inappropriate were part of a strategy that he was the center of. Just saying, all right? Caused people to find out about the thinning in a way that they wouldn't have before. So it's into that environment comes Doug Liman. And Doug Liman's movie Impulse. So you would say, okay, what is Impulse about, and why should I see it at WonderCon? And I will tell you, first of all, you should see it at WonderCon because it's Doug Liman. Okay, how's that? All right. But first of all, let me read to you what the story is behind this drama that was picked up by YouTube Red. And this was June 27th of last year, posted in Deadline, all right? And it goes like this, okay? If basically Impulse kind of took the route of thinning, right? Low budget, no one had ever heard of it except people heard of the producer. Was looking for a home, and YouTube picked it up on YouTube Red. For how much, I don't know. But Deadline produced this exclusive saying that its new subscription service continues to ramp up its original programming slate, giving a series order to its first drama plot, Impulse, directed and executive produced by Doug Liman, for a 2018 premiere, and that is this year. And it says the pickup follows series orders by YouTube Red to science fiction drama Lifeline, produced by Dwayne Johnson and Studio 71. The Dan Harmon produced gaming comedy Good Game, as well as a Step Up reboot. And the gender bending, that's what it's called. It's called a gender bending hour-long action thriller. That's what Impulse is called here. And it's originally from Universal Cable Productions and studio-based Hypnotic, which produced Suits, and marks the first series that Universal Cable Productions has made for YouTube. It's written by Jeffrey Lieber, who is attached to Lost, NCIS New Orleans, and then Jason Horwich, Marvel's Luke Cage. All right. And Gary Spinelli from a story by Lieber and directed by Doug Liman. Of course, the Bourne Identity. Impulse is based on the third novel in the Jumper series by Stephen Gould. Never heard of it. Never heard of it until now, okay? It features a rebellious 16-year-old girl named Henry by Maddie Hasson, who's always felt different from her peers and has longed to escape from her seemingly quaint small town. She soon discovers she has the extraordinary ability to, guess what? Teleport. Yeah, that's right. She's got the ability to teleport, to self-teleport. Okay? Now, that's kind of weird. I mean, I wonder if there are conditions around her ability to teleport. Like, if she's like doing the nasty, can she teleport anyway? Or can she not do it if she's doing the nasty, because then she would take whoever she was teleporting, doing nasty with her, right? I mean, I'm just wondering, okay, how does that work? Well, answer. It's someone's imagination, you idiot. That's how it works, all right? So it says, rounding out the cast of the series are Missi Pyle, Sarah Desjardins, Inuka Akuma, say that real fast 3 times, and Craig Arnold. David James Elliott is set to be a reoccurring dude, okay? And basically Susan Daniels, who's the global head of original content at YouTube, says, this unique thriller pulled us right in from the opening scene. We are thrilled to be in the business of doing this with Doug Liman and everyone at UCP and Hypnotic. Ooh. So YouTube is becoming the Hollywood of the 21st century. YouTube is becoming the Hollywood of the 21st century. Interesting. It says, Right. This is the second green light for Hypnotic and UCP in the past few days. They got an order from Sci-Fi for something called Night Flyers, which is a supernatural thriller by George R.R. Martin. Game of Thrones, right? And then they've got some other things. Okay. So anyway, that's the story behind Impulse. Now, guess what? Doug Liman and the cast and the crew will be, yes, they will be at WonderCon on the 24th of March. Okay? On the 24th of March. And the date will be, or the time will be, for it will be at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time at the North 200A Ballroom. Okay? North 200A Ballroom. No, excuse me. Discussion panel. All right. North 200A Ballroom. Is that where it's going to be? North 200A room of Anaheim Convention Center. Let me figure out something here. Okay, there's the Q&A. Yeah. Okay, so that room is, those are the featured panelists, panel with moderator and fan Q&A. Yeah, so that's it. All right, so there's a featured panelist there. All right, so got it. So it's North room 200 North. What is this? It's room North 200A. Anaheim Convention Center. Room North 200A. Anaheim Convention Center is where it is. Again, room North 200A. Room North 200A. Anaheim Convention Center, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Okay, that's what it is. And again, it says it's based on the third novel in the Jumper series, and it's about this rebellious 16-year-old. So it's aimed at the teenage audience. But my thought is, I want to know how much money are they spending to do this, right? And does the promotion of this crowd out little YouTubers like me, unless I get a big budget? I don't consider myself little anymore, but I'm saying, you know what I mean, all right? Yeah, ML, it is funny. It's kind of like, you know what? YouTube wants to be Hollywood, but then, the Hollywood that's out there, the new Hollywood of YouTube, is in these great shows that have been produced for micro-shoestring budgets with special effects that are so good they could be on a regular TV, but they were not. And there are all these fan works of fiction that some of them I've encountered at Comic-Con San Diego and WonderCon, and you might hear something about them like for that long, and you don't hear about them anymore. For example, let me give you an example. I'm just going to go through and dig up one that caught my eye here, and then I'll return to a conversation about Doug Liman's piece Impulse, because I'm not quite finished with that. Where is this thingy? Let's see here. This is Zenny62. Hold on a second. Zenny62 fan, and then Comic-Con. Yeah, like that. Zenny62 fan Comic-Con, which I just realized I'm going to get a Zenny62 fan Comic-Con, which I did. It wasn't exactly what I meant to do. Doggone it. Oh, here it is. It's called, the movie that I'm thinking about is called Fanorama. It's called Doug Lanigan's Fan Movie at Comic-Con. All right, I want you to check this out, folks, because what Dan Lanigan has had to go through is exemplary of, I think, the kind of unfortunate way that fans are pushed around and treated, given the short shrift when they're trying to make their own movies, their own labors of love, and they don't have either the luck or the chutzpah, let's be honest, of a Doug Liman, right? And so anyway, this is Fanorama's Dan Lanigan. This is Dan Lanigan right here, all right? Folks, this man has an excellent Panorama film.
Yes, Panorama fan-made film.
And here's why I hesitate to call it fan-made. We're in a hell of a booth here. Hold on a second. Look at this. We got a great couch. This is an operation, man. This is more than fan. You got a system here.
Yes. Well, we're trying. We Futurama deserves the best, and we want to do the best.
Oh, and by the way, this is Dan Lanigan.
Yes. Hi. Dan Lanigan, director of Panorama.
How did this all start, my man?
So I've been looking for a project to work with some of my buddies and with this production company that we'd started up, and we were in San Francisco on a business trip for another thing, and Cody, who's sitting right across, who plays Fry, this gentleman right here. Hey, Cody.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, how you doing? Good. He's got his hair up, his pseudo hair horn, and he's got a red jacket and a white shirt. And I'm like, you look like Phil Fry. He's like, we've been talking about doing that a project. Let's do a Futurama fan film. And of course, he says, nah, it can't be done. And Andy was with the other writers and played Zoidberg. He's like, it can't be done.
Why couldn't it be done?
Because they thought it was too ambitious for a fan film. We proved them otherwise. They knew I was crazy, and here we go. Thank you very much. So we released the trailer. We're hoping to release the fan film to be about the length of a Futurama episode in September.
So how long did this take?
We've been in production for about a year. Pre-production before that, well, I should say, it hasn't been full production. Building sets, building props have been about a year, except for the model miniature, which we built before that. Yeah, so this guy, the model miniature was built about a year and a half ago.
That is so cool.
And about 6 months before that, wrote the script, so about 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's an emergence of really popular fan-made films based on original work, if you will. You might be aware of the issue that Star Trek is having.
Very aware.
What say you about that? I mean, and I'll tell you where I come from. You all help advance and distribute the main brand. So they should be very happy to try to figure out some kind of way to work with you.
Yes.
I would hope that's the case. I think that's the case with you all.
We have not had any issues whatsoever with Fox.
Nice.
We've had unofficial thumbs up from some of the people who worked on Futurama.
Nice.
They think what we're doing is cool. Of course, they don't control the IP.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the issue with Paramount and CBS and Anaxar is more complicated than everyone realizes. And it's not necessarily Star Trek or it's not necessarily Paramount and CBS going after fan films. I think it's a specific situation.
Like lousy relationships, maybe?
Perhaps with some of the people at Anaxar, from what I hear. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
That's more than what I know.
It's possible.
Yeah, right.
It's possible.
Yeah.
But they also need to, I respect if Fox came to me and said, we need to shut it down.
Yeah, right.
I would do it because, I've done this as a nonprofit thing. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, it's their IP, so I have to respect that. Hopefully, they see what we're doing.
Buy it from you. Like this is like a startup to me, where someone could say, "Hey, we'll invest several million in you and help you expand because you're doing, you know what I'm saying?"
Yeah, that would be nice.
You're at the end of the day another producer.
That would be very nice. But that was not expected, or I don't know if it's a realistic way for me to look at it. I have to look at this as a labor of love, which is what it was.
Yeah.
And let's try and do the best job we can, and I think we have.
Wow. This is incredible, man. Hey,
thank you very much.
Tell them where the website is.
The website is www.fan-o-rama.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Check us out and share us if you like it.
Done. You got it, man. See ya. Okay, so that was Dan Lanigan. That was at Comic-Con and San Diego, and you can see just by what he's been able to share, right? I mean, and his stuff's good though. If you haven't seen uh, Panorama, you gotta see it. You gotta see it. And the quality of what he's done will blow you away. Just saying. And there's a lot out there like that. So I'm not trying to steal any thunder from Doug Liman, all right, and what he's doing at all. I don't want to be considered as doing that, okay? And maybe also that, uh, but he's got money that other people don't have, and sometimes you have to ask who gets crowded out. That's all. Now back to Doug Liman's take on the future as it's going to be brought to YouTube, because I just saw another headline that it reads like this: Impulse explores, get this, get this, get this, sexual assault and teleportation on YouTube Red. So remember when, ML, remember when I was asking if this teleportation thing that this character can do, if it has a limit, if she's doing nasty, right? Of course, she's 16. She should not be that experienced yet. Well, did I say that? Anyway, I did. But at any rate, it says this headline reads that it explores sexual assault and teleportation on YouTube Red. That's what it reads. Okay? I'm thinking, what? So this is not the description at all that I was presented with by the people who sent me the press release, excuse me, from Rogers and Cowan. It didn't go in this direction at all. So now I'm thinking, what is Doug Liman's Impulse really about, right? And I'll tell you more whenever I'm able to actually open Deadline's slow to open pages on its website. Yes, I did say that. Slow to open pages on its website. Grr. Okay, like grr. All right. Yes, I did say that. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I gotta sit up straight here. And okay. This is the skinny, folks. It says, all right, you know about the whole based on the third novel in the Jumper series, whatever that is, from a Stephen Gould, whoever that is, right? Blah, blah, blah. Director, executive producer, EP Doug Liman called it a big breakthrough in the development of the series, a world he previously explored with the film Jumper. He says he wanted another shot at it. Of all my films, that was the one Jumper that he was least happy with, because he says episodes going forward explore Henry's need to reconcile what her assault. Oh, here's the story. Okay, I jumped forward a little bit too much. All right, it says Maddie Hasson plays Henry. Discovers she has the ability to teleport. The first time she realizes this, she's in a truck with her high school's golden boy who tries to rape her. She has a seizure and teleports, in the course of which she inadvertently crushes him, leaving him a paraplegic. So, ML, we now have the answer to what happens if she happens to be doing the nasty, which I just came up with out of the blue, and decides to teleport. We know that it has to be under conditions of duress. In this case, she was violated, and so the person violating her got crushed and became a paraplegic. Episodes going forward explore Henry's need to reconcile what their assaulter tried to do with the consequence, and her feeling about discovering she can teleport with her feelings about the assault. What I don't understand is, if you're teleporting, you just sort of like leave. And how does she manage to crush this guy if she's leaving the scene? Teleporting is to right? Did she take part of him with her? I mean, that's gruesome. I mean, you start thinking about it, it's kind of like, oh gosh, right? Okay, so Henry's ability to teleport is more a curse than a blessing. Desperate to get out of the small provincial town she's in, she keeps getting teleported back. Why? Liman explained to television critics at TCA this story, okay? And the plot was shot before LaFranc came on board as showrunner, who recognized the assault scene as something that should be expanded upon and deepened, so they went back and they reshot it. And LaFranc said her vision of the series was as an exploration of what it's like for a woman to go through that experience moving forward. And so every episode delves into the impact of the assault, and that's what Liz LaFranc said, who's also with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as a writer. She says it was important to link teleportation with the assault because those two happened in the same moment. She said, speaking to survivors while doing research for the series, LaFranc discovered that they asked that it not be dramatized as a journey that launches the male's story, and that they please not make it neat and tidy, and suddenly she's evolved from that. A viewer warning at the start of the episode lets viewers know it depicts sexual violence, and a call to action concludes the first episode. Okay, so, wow. This is not for the faint of heart, folks. Impulse is not for the faint of heart, it sounds like. This is, wow. It hails from Universal Cable Productions and studio-based Hypnotic. And it's the first UCP series from YouTube. You know, I have to say the one issue I have with this growing population of content like this in the wake of Harvey Weinstein is I have the sneaking feeling out there that you have kids who are asking about sex and whether or not this is possible, and then they're asking questions that are probably ahead of where they are in terms of their development, which is good. Okay, now I'm not saying that's a bad thing to ask questions. I'm saying that the film, given that there's a teenager in it, quite literally pushes forward into the popular culture some very unpleasant topics. And I mean, it presents sex and violence in one fell swoop to a teenage audience. The main character is 16, which means you're going to have someone watching this who may very well be 14. Okay? There's no crib notes with this sort of thing. And what kind of unintended thought consequences will this lead to, right? I mean, what will it encourage, what will it encourage? I don't know, okay? I just think it's fair to ask because of the way this came about through social media, and then Weinstein and his very adult actions, which have caused this conversation, which hasn't seen a kind of breakwater in terms of age. Like, oh, hey, this is for mature adults to talk about. At your age, let's talk about this. Now, some of you would say that's a good thing. I am asking, is that a good thing? There is no question but that Impulse is a controversial film by its subject matter. Okay? I don't know. All right, and other than depicting this, what's the point? Is there a teachable moment here? You can't say it's about entertainment, because I don't think anyone should be appropriately entertained by this, but it is being put out as entertainment. Is it entertainment as controversy? Is that the idea? Okay. Questions for Doug Liman. There's one comment here on Deadline that gets me, and it reads, why? Why can't we have a sci-fi movie with teleportation and conflicts and then force narratives of today's social cues. People watch these shows to decompress from all the BS in the world. Yeah. And now we force it into a movie, making it part of a never-ending psychological scar on her character through the series. No thanks, I was excited for this show. That really does speak for me, okay? I have to say, that does speak for me. Because, again, when the public relations firm, Rogers and Cowan, sent me the material on this before saying, hey, you're on the WonderCon press list. This is going to be at WonderCon. Talk about it for us, which is what I'm doing. I was way not prepped for what I discovered this was really about. And, now when I reach out to my buddy Rick Cohen and get his view on this, because he's a movie producer. But if this is the future, then I have to ask, what kind of society are we trying to construct going forward? I mean, just the other day, I think it was a couple of days ago, a 19-year-old guitar player, Benjamin, he does very well on American Idol, goes over to kiss Katy Perry. Katy Perry kisses him on the mouth, okay? For some reason, ostensibly because he's 19 and not sexually experienced, he decides to complain that it was an unexpected kiss and it made him uncomfortable, which made him sound like he was afraid of girls, which made me ask this universal question: what kind of teenagers are we raising today, where we have a young man who isn't experienced with women enough to say, I really appreciated that from Miss Perry, and wow, it was my first kiss, I'll never watch this face again. That sort of thing, right? Instead, he comes off as if he's trying to build some sort of equivalency argument to match, women who may have complained about, who are his age, who may have complained about some, quote, unwanted kiss, unquote. If you look at the photograph that this young man is in, all right, and I'll show it to you right now. If you look at the photograph, it's quite obvious he leaned in for a kiss, okay? And leading me to just say, hey, look, why are you picking on Katy Perry this way? And then it becomes the here, this is what I'm talking about. And then it becomes the plaything of the thought police today that say, we want you to hate men, okay, or we want you to hate someone who might be, and the undertone is, heterosexual, right? And then it's like, well, there's this equivalency. And I'm thinking, what kind of world are we coming to? I'm just asking. Look at this. This is the photograph. Does it look like he's resisting? Okay. Does it look like he's resisting at all? Of course not. He leaned in. Okay. He doesn't look uncomfortable to me. So, I mean, I would have more respect for the kid if he said, hey, look, it's my first time. Okay, fine. I get it. All right. You're 19. He did say he was conservative, which in my growing up, I never knew conservative meant equaled sexually inexperienced. I just thought conservative meant politically conservative, not that you were afraid of girls. That's okay. It's a big difference. So into this environment, that was just 2 days ago. All right, that was 2 days ago. Into this environment, we have Doug Liman and Impulse, in the framework of which is a woman who is violated sexually, who then teleports her way out of that violation, I guess in the middle of it, and winds up crushing the person who was violating her. Which, again, I'm only explaining to you what I read on Deadline, has me spinning my mind in all kinds of directions. Like, what the heck do you mean? And most notably, are you going to show that on YouTube? Is there going to be like blood everywhere and stuff? Is he going to die? Which means, did she kill him? Was she? Oh, excuse me. It was she. He would mean he was left as a paraplegic. Wow, that's some heavy stuff. Okay. And the thing, I asked for screeners from this thing, without really knowing what I was asking for. Oh, man. My goodness. This is something else. You know? I mean, this is really, this is kind of like the things that make you go, huh? What else do we have coming down the pipe? You know, what that begs the question. If I type news shows, right? If I type news shows 2018, news shows. And this is why I get upset with Supergirl not being able to give a black guy a decent relationship with a white girl. I mean, they can have all kinds of different relationships. When it comes to that, it's like, wah! Okay. Seriously. Okay, so news shows 2018. You have Alexa and Katie, and then Krypton, On My Block, Rise. Then there's For the People, Champions, Life Sentence, and Looming Tower. Now, none of these. This is unfair because, you know, the one thing that all these have in common, I just listed for you, is they're not appearing on YouTube. Just saying. Hey, welcome to Zenny62. I'm talking about Doug Liman and his, as it turns out, shocking. You want me to recite to you what this thing is about? Shocking impulse. That's what it's called, impulse on YouTube. If you want me to tell you more about it, I guess you don't because you left. You were here and you left. You figured, hey, he's not talking about the Raiders. No, I'm not. I'm talking about WonderCon, all right? So, and I should tweet this out. I'm going to tweet this out right now. Yep, I'm going to tweet this out. I'm going to tweet out that I'm talking about this right now. But I'm not going to say the subject matter. Other than the title. Okay. I just saw your comment. I will get back to that in a second. Hold on. Give me a second. I will get to your comment, as it were. And, my gosh, this. Hold on a second, folks. All right. Let's see here. All right. Try that. Nope. Undo that. Okay. Impulse. And then impulse. The hashtag WonderCon 2018. Okay. Then that. Then this. What I'm doing, folks, is I'm tweeting out that I am talking about this doggone thing. Live stream. Okay, like so. That's what I'm doing, all right? Okay, now I'm getting back to your comments. And let's see here. Hey, Pyle says, they always expect us to talk about the Raiders. Yeah, well, let's see here. Yes, they do. All right. Okay, so I just tweeted that out. And my tweet's been posted. I wonder if anybody else is making any comments on Twitter about this thingy, all right? Because, let's see here. I'm going to type impulse. I should be able to type Doug Liman impulse. Impulse. Like that, okay? And I just did, and okay. This was Sophia. It was my absolute pleasure. Thanks for the support. I have lovely interviews with David James Elliott coming out next week. He said in one of my classes recently, he is in Toronto starring in the new Doug Liman TV series Impulse, a charming chap. Stay tuned. Okay. And other than that, that's it. There's nothing else about Doug Liman's Impulse. This will change that. This will change that. Let's see here. Impulse. Let's see YouTube. Okay. YouTube Impulse. And what if you impulse yourself right below before your launch pad? Nope. Let's see here. And so no. YouTube Impulse leads to a lot of different weird results, but not the one that I'm thinking about. So, bottom line, there ain't much about there, okay? It's just not, nothing about it, okay? All right, now, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. John Davis says, what? He says, when we get a new show that is morally correct? Thank you. Yeah, I know. Yeah. In Bible Study says, I've seen parts of Bourne Identity. It looks like a good movie. Bourne Identity. Oh, Bourne Identity is a good movie. It's also, yeah, that's 2002. And you love to see it. You can order it online, all right? Yeah. John Davis, it's a good, but John Davis asks a good question. Where will we get a new show that is morally correct? And that's what bothers me. It's like this whole thing with Harvey Weinstein has opened the floodgates for inappropriate discussions and for people to express their views on social media who may very well be not fully formed adults, okay? And so as a result, they bring, you know, all the typical ideologies of a person who may be in their teens, questioning this and that, but putting it forward on a canvas, a flat platform, as if it is the because of the idealistic and holier than thou way in which it's put forward. It's like the voice of God in a sense. Oh, you know, you're doing this. Oh, you shouldn't be doing this. Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. And it turned out that this person has all kinds of ills, and hey, by the way, may very well be doing some drugs that they had no business in being involved in, right? And yet they use a fake name or something like that, and they have other people like-minded, all right? And next thing you know, you get this whole expression of a subculture with morally questionable practices that seem to bend to its whim, with the idea of equality, which is great, but then it seems to stop at water's edge when the subtopic of race comes up. Yeah, and then it becomes all twisted. You know, it's just, wow. It's no wonder why we have such a confusing situation that got us this guy in the White House. I'm sorry. Because, look, I don't care. You can't be Christian in a normal world and support Donald Trump, who's violated women the way that he has done. It's not a matter of the Lord's forgiving one of their sins, but you don't back people. At least when I knew of Christian conservatives, they didn't back people like that because they didn't like their practices. It was like, oh, you know, the Lord will bless you and save you, but I'm not going to stand behind you because what you did is wrong, even if you support other aspects of my political agenda. Conservatives today don't seem to have that. They seem to think, gee, it's okay for him to do that because, hey, that other part of my agenda that makes me feel like maybe that person is, you know, against abortion and everything, that's okay. Even if that same Donald Trump professed support for abortion 3 years ago, okay, or, all right, okay, and you say, like, Bible study, that your parents support Donald Trump, but do they support Donald Trump groping women? All right? All the stuff that I was taught was not something a Christian should do, you're supporting this guy doing. That's what you're doing. Okay? That's what you're doing. All the things that you say, hey, he shouldn't do. And then this is how the world has changed. This is how the weird things have become. The people who say, hey, Trump is bad, right? Or what he's done is bad, and the way he's treating women are bad, are not Christian. That's weird. Okay, that's weird. I mean, it's the non-Christians that are pointing out that the way Donald Trump has violated women is bad are the ones that are advancing that message, yet you have the Christians who are remaining silent. That's ridiculous. That's not Christian. Okay? The whole point is to have a set of rules by which you live by. You're gonna support a guy as president who just happens to be president who doesn't even at the end of the day behave as you would behave in polite society. That's how crazy the world is today. All right? And yet Barack Obama would never behave that way in public, let alone private. I know Barack Obama. And yet your parents wouldn't support Barack Obama, and yet he is a fine, upstanding individual. Okay? All right? So, but hey, look, your parents said that the media brought that up, but that's not true. All you have to do, if you want proof of it, is to go back about what has been written about Donald Trump throughout his life. No one has to bring it up. It's there. That's what the internet is for. Okay? Now, I will tell you something. You can love your parents and disagree with them politically. Okay? Hey, over the years, my mom never had a stipulation I had to agree with everything that she said. I didn't grow up that way. So my point is, there's an old saying. Parents are the bones upon which children cut their teeth. That means disagree with your parents, but know why you're disagreeing with them. This is a very logical question to ask. Why is it that anybody would support a person who not only goes out, I mean, look, it's not a matter of anything that Donald Trump did in the past. In the present, you have him saying inappropriate things about women, calling women names, and everything else. No Christian person would do that, okay? No Christian person would do that, because if you say you support Donald Trump, in the next breath, what you're telling me is, oh, I'm going to go out and I'm going to behave like him toward women? All right? So again, this is a microcosm of how confused this society is. That we would have people allow a guy like that in the White House and say that he's a better president than Barack Obama when he's not. When Barack Obama has been the example of no drama, no scandal in 8 years as president, check it out for yourself, okay? Healthy economy that he quite literally gave to Donald Trump. And Donald Trump has us against each other, whereas Barack Obama never did. And you're going to tell me that Donald Trump is better? Of course not. No way. And it isn't a matter of, oh, I have the right. No one's questioning anyone's right to believe in anything. It's the logic. It's the logic behind it. And again, all right, the whole idea of like, ugh, all right? So, okay? So, I agree the same way my parents do, because that's what I've grown up with. Yeah, but the whole point is, I grew up with a mom that allowed me to disagree with them. What you're saying to me is your parents don't allow you to disagree with them. Okay? That's not a great position to be in. You should be able to disagree, because that's the way you learn. That's the way you learn. Because with respect to Donald Trump, you have a lot of explaining to do to anybody, particularly anybody who's a woman, who you will encounter, who at some point ask these questions. And they will come up. You know, how can you support a guy who's so disrespectful of women as he has been? When you and I both know that that's not a Christian way. Okay, is it because he's white? Would you support him that way if he were black and did the same thing? I doubt it. I would hope that regardless of color, you wouldn't support anybody who acted like that, period. Okay? And these are actions that, if this Stormy Daniels stuff starts going the way that it looks like it's going, he could wind up getting booted from office. You have to understand and have role models for how you treat women. Okay? So, all right. Ed Toto says, why are we talking about Trump? Because I want to. Because of the subject matter. Because Doug Liman's YouTube original series Impulse touches on a subject that do you know about that? All right. Okay. All right. So Bible says, and my conservative views have been a Trump supporter since he announced his candidacy. Why? Because you were influenced by what he said on television? You were hypnotized by his speeches? That sounds a little, that sounds, what is it? What's the term? John Davis is posting again. That sounds like you were brainwashed or something. Jeez Louise. I mean, that's what it sounds like. Because for one thing, America has always been great. A. B, our economy has always been fantastic. And C, rather than, and this is what I'm getting after you about, PJ, you have to read the internet regarding our economy and where it came from. You are now 17. 10 years ago, you were 7 years old. 10 years ago, we had an economic crash like nobody else's business. I was scared to death. You don't know what that feels like. Barack Obama got us out of that, okay? So, but PJ, Donald Trump is against abortion, but he was for it 3 years ago. And again, this is what I'm talking about. In other words, he checks the boxes you think he believes in, but you don't really know the man's history at all. I do. Okay? As one who tried out to be on The Apprentice. I know the man's history. This man flip-flopped to fool people. He flip-flopped to fool people like yourself to put him in the office so that he can continue building his business brand using the taxpayer money to do so. Negotiating, having his sons and daughters negotiate business deals with the Russians for themselves, while he's creating all kinds of story smoke screens to keep the view off of them and what they're doing. He's giving them security clearances. This is the person that you want as president. This is what he's doing right now. He's lining his own pockets, something Barack Obama never did, as he runs the country using taxpayer dollars to travel around and everything else. Using our dollars, your parents included. There are a lot of people, like if you said to me, hey, I like Rand Paul, fine. Or Orrin Hatch, fine, okay? Classically good conservatives. But Donald Trump is not a true conservative, all right? My parents are Republicans, they support Trump, but they didn't like Obama at all. Why, because he's black? Okay. Barack Obama is more Christian than Donald Trump, by far. By far. So have you ever asked your parents if it was an issue of color? Okay. No cause of everything he did. Okay, so what did he do? Barack Obama passed the Economic Recovery and Tax Act, which saved our economy from ruin. So you're saying your parents don't like that. Do you understand what the concept of recession means? No. You were born and then came of age at a time of economic health, given to you by Barack Obama, and you're saying that your parents don't like anything that he did? I don't believe that. I don't believe anybody in their right mind would say that. That's what you just said. You don't believe that women should have fair pay? So when Barack Obama passed the, oh, you said nope? You said nope. What is that nope to what? Barack Obama passed the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act. That means women get fair pay in the workplace. You're going to tell me that women don't deserve that? And you're going to tell me your parents are support a world where women are not treated fairly? Because Barack Obama passed that and put that in. You would tell me that Barack Obama, or your parents wouldn't like the fact that Barack Obama spearheaded a cleanup of the financial institutions so that we wouldn't get the same kind of financial collapse that we got before. You're going to tell me your parents wouldn't like that? Okay. He says they didn't support anything that Trump did, and you can talk to my mom about Obama. I'd love to talk to your mom about Obama. But my point is, my point is that I'm not sure that you really understand what Obama did. Okay. Now, if you want to talk about, for example, healthcare, Obamacare has cut my healthcare costs to a point where it's at $127 per month, and I'm 55 years old. I have had lower healthcare costs than ever before. Without Obamacare, my healthcare costs were $500-600 a month. They were outrageous. And that subsidy that people talk about, all right, as a business owner, you can get that subsidy. Your parents can get it if they own their own business. A lot of people don't know that. Why? Because you have a lot of people who want to be conservative, and they only listen to other people. They don't actually read and do the homework behind anything. John Davis says, I don't like Beckham because he's forcing me to get health care, and I think it's a tax. I've never subscribed to health care until now. But the whole point, John Davis, is that you don't have to get health care. You could do the tax, but also the individual mandate was taken off. So if that's your only reason for not liking Obama, it's kind of silly. The individual mandate's taken off. It's not there anymore. But it doesn't erase the fact that, but John Davis, you don't get that. And this is what I'm saying is about not following politics. The individual mandate was taken off. The Tax Act that was passed just a little bit ago, that took away the individual mandate. That's what you're talking about. That's gone. So you don't have any reason to dislike Obama, all right? The individual mandate I felt was necessary because people needed to get health care. Yourself included, okay? Yourself included, all right? As far as that fine is, it's in for this tax season, yeah, but not for next year, okay? But you should get health care, and you should get it through Obamacare, and it's cheap. There's no excuse for you to run around without health care because it costs everybody else money to begin with. I mean, I don't care if you feel like that's your right. If that's the case, I'm going to tell you something. You going to drive? You wear your seatbelts? I hope. We had the same conversation about seatbelts way back in 1973. Oh, seatbelts are bad. Oh, no, wear your seatbelt. Now it's a law. But do you think every president that came before Obama is bad because they pushed that kind of mandate? Answer the question, John Davis. Do you think that every president that came before Obama is bad because they pushed the seatbelt mandate? It's the same thing. It adds to the cost of the car. It has done so for some time. It's standard. So again, wear your doggone seatbelt. Okay? What about a law preventing you from texting while driving, all right? I don't think we should have to wear seatbelts either. Well, I guess you're just in the wrong state, aren't you? Wear your seatbelt, okay? Do the things that make yourself healthy and healthy for yourself and safe for me so that you don't wind up costing me money. That's the whole point. It's not about you. It's funny how people, walk around with all these ideas about how they want to have their freedoms, and it just turns out that your freedom costs me money. You want to have guns, you cost somebody their life. You don't want to have health care, you get sick, I got to pay for it. Because I do. You don't want to wear your seatbelt, you end up getting hit, I got to pay for that too. So every freedom you claim to want costs me in some kind of way. That's not a freedom, man. That's selfish. I'm sorry. That's selfish. All right? I would love to lock you up. But then I would be really taking away all your freedoms, and I don't want to do that. Okay? So I have no desire to lock you up. My point is this. At all. My point is this. We are headed into this society, into this era of selfish freedoms. It's like the continuation of the meism of the 70s. It was all about you. All about me. Not you. Not us. You know? The idea of the collective we just sort of got lost out there. It was all about you. You telling me about your freedoms. Or like this whole thing about being politically correct. Well, excuse me, what is that about but the freedom to want to say stupid things to somebody that hurt their feelings? Again, it's a matter of harming somebody else. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Okay? This is some crazy stuff. I mean, it's just, woohoo, woohoo. You want the right to hurt people's feelings or make them feel bad in some kind of way. That's what that's about. Were you raised to be a gentleman? Being a gentleman and being a lady means, in polite society, you don't say things just because you feel like you could say them. That's called being an adult. Okay? That's what it's called. It's called being an adult. Don't talk to me about your freedoms, because all I hear is someone saying to me, I want to be 14 again. I want to be teenager. I don't want to grow up. Grow up. Grow up fast. Please. Stuff's ridiculous. I mean, it is, you know? And it felt good to say that. Maybe sometimes it's not a good idea to talk about sports all the time, you know? So anyway, and so, see, this is racist. Bible study, PJ says, another thing that I like about Trump is getting illegals out of America. Oh, give me a break. You wouldn't know an illegal alien if that person crossed you, okay? Let me tell you something. And this is why I'm telling you what you said is straight out racist, okay? I mean, it really is. An illegal alien person can be anybody, including yourself. It could be, all right? It could be, and no, PJ, it is, all right? And this is the one thing where I might reconsider my association with you, because that's racist. Pure and straight out, racist. Okay? Very racist, all right? Taking from one person and giving to another is stealing. Taking from one person and giving to another is stealing, and insulting them is stealing too, okay? So my point is, when you walk into an Irish bar, which you shouldn't because you're not of drinking age, this is what I'm talking about, Peter, about you're not quite being developed, all right? Is that Irish waitress that took your order may very well be an illegal alien. There's a long history of women who come over from Ireland. They don't have the proper paperwork, but they have a relative or friend who has a friend who owns a bar or a restaurant. They get a job there, and they can bide their time sometimes for years at a time until they meet the nice American guy, sometimes black, and marry that guy, and that's how they get what's called their green card. They become legal. That's an illegal alien, Peter. Okay? That's an illegal alien. That person is not Latino. Okay? Those people are shielded in ways that many people who happen to come from over the border aren't. So you really need to stop, do some research, and really, really understand the walk of anybody who comes over here illegally, okay? Because you don't, all right? As John Davis pointed out, most immigrants help the U.S., not hurt it. That's right. That's right. I remember a guy who came over from San Carlos Sidra, okay, in Mexico. And San Carlos Sidra is a town as in Guadalajara. He was the mayor. I happen to note this. Anyway, what happened with this fellow is there were a group of rebels who wanted to use his radio station. And what happened was that these guys threatened him. In order to save his life and save his family, he left and fled to the United States. Wound up in San Rafael, California, got picked up by ICE, was that close to being deported until a friend of mine, his lawyer, gorgeous woman, was able to negotiate his freedom and get his family into America, away from the rebels who were certainly going to kill them and him in Guadalajara, in San Carlos Sidra, okay? That's his story. So when people come over here, they come over here, for the most part, to seek economic and religious freedom, social freedom, the same kind of freedom that John Davis wants in a different way. But when you think of illegal aliens, I'm going to tell you something. You have no idea who an illegal alien is or why they're illegal. All right. And illegal aliens, Ed Toto says, will do jobs Americans don't want to do. Sometimes that's true. But I don't think it's, but sometimes it's false too. I think it's, sometimes illegal aliens do jobs that they can only get because it's not a matter of not wanting to do it. That's a myth. It's a matter of not knowing language well enough to be able to take another type of job. So it's easier to, get a laborer job, and because you have other people who can make the language translation for you in that instance, okay? In that instance. But I remind you, though, when we talk about illegal aliens, don't forget the example of the Irish waitress, okay? She got the job in what? An Irish bar in the United States. Why? Because she has relationships with people who know the owners of those establishments. So it's not a matter of taking the job that another American won't take. There's so many people around you think are American who are not. It's not funny. 1/4 of this country consists of immigrants. Actually, a little more than that. Okay? A little more than that. So, okay? And so John Davis says building a wall is just another way for our taxes to be spent for our government. Building a wall is racist. And it gives the idea that only illegal aliens come from Mexico. Again, I point to you the example of the Irish waitress. Okay? And so the Bible says, my congregation, my parents want illegals out, so they are racist too. Yeah, they are. Because if you believe that an illegal alien is only a Mexican person, yeah, you're racist. That's just simply straight out truth. Why somebody would choose to believe that is beyond me, but that's the truth. Okay? Again, Irish waitress. Go to an Irish place. Go to an Irish restaurant. Okay? I'll bet you've never been to an Irish restaurant. Ever. I have. I have a lot of favorites. I love Irish coffee. Okay? So my point is, no. Not at all. That is racist. You could sit next to somebody who is illegal and not know it. Okay? PJ says no, any illegal. Didn't say just Mexican. I meant to say not just Hispanic illegals. You don't know who illegal is. Okay? People are illegal for different reasons, and they look different ways. You have no idea who that is. You only know what you see on television. You don't know anything because you haven't researched anything. You haven't gotten to know the situation or the arguments of people who, for example, the dreamers who were born here, but their parents came from someplace else and maybe they got some sort of mix-up, but they were born here. They're legal. You're going to tell them they're illegal when they were born here? Of course not. But that's how this country started to treat them under President Trump. And again, what bothers me about what you're saying is that the natural course of an argument like this is to have one person against the other, which is what the president wants. He wants us to argue while he goes off and uses the country to enrich himself because he likes that. He likes us to be fighting each other. And you're I'm just being honest with you. You're playing right along with it. You're being used. But your prejudices and your hatreds are so deep that you don't mind being used. And you're telling me your parents are the same way, and I kind of don't believe that. I don't believe anybody would be that ridiculously gullible. Are they? Because that's what you're saying to me. Okay? You say your parents are just like you? I doubt that. I seriously doubt that. I seriously doubt that. And I hope not. Okay? That is not, the way you say you want to be is not a good way to be. It is not a good way to grow up. Okay? It just isn't. So, anyway, John Davis says, all my family is just like his family. Well, you guys got some problems. Okay? Because if you have people like that, you'll be able, you know why? Your hatred will be your downfall. You'll never be able to see beyond it. And you could be used that way. Used. Okay? You're being used right now. You're being manipulated by somebody who 2 years ago believed flag burning was a great thing. That person was Donald Trump. Okay? Okay? So, that's it. That's it. So you guys, you're advocating wanting to do evil to other people, and yet you're saying you're Christian. No. You're not Christian. Sorry, you're just not Christian. All right. So, now John Davis says he goes against his family all the time. John Davis, how old are you? See, there you go. That you argue with your parents. Okay. I mean, I'm 55 years old. I didn't grow up like that. What's going on there? Okay. You're 47. Yeah. 47. Wow. Okay, you're 47. I'm 55. Bible is 17. Okay. So there you go. And it's not a matter of not being intolerant of other views. What we're talking about is a situation where you have people who are using the Bible as a tool to judge others, and yet are backing a guy who's been morally inappropriate to people. Okay. So in all this, this is what Doug Liman's impulse has brought us to. Wow, what a crazy time to be alive. Wow, what a crazy time to be alive. My goodness. John Davis says, you didn't vote for Obama or Trump. You should have voted for Obama. That's, I wouldn't go around saying I didn't vote for Obama. It's not a smart comment. Just saying, it's just not. Especially today. I mean, why would anybody vote for a situation be created that puts the country in the state that it's in right now? We have a person who's not regarded as a great leader, who's not respected, who pits people against each other, who has the very country arguing among itself. And then you tell me that's a good thing. That is not a good thing. Okay? Now, if he winds up in jail, are you going to go to jail with him? Trump supporters? Hello? Or are you going to make up excuses and just have blinders on and not want to see the truth? Truth is, this is a really dirty, immoral guy. And you all were fooled into supporting him. period. We had 8 years of no scandal under Barack Obama, healthy economy, everybody's happy, great times, doing extraordinary things, and yet we wake up to scandal a day under this dude, and you're going to tell me that's a better thing? It is not a better thing. Change your mind. Your mind is wrong. Okay? It is not a Christian way. It just simply is not. All right. So, where we go, Impulse explores, that's wild. See, Doug Liman, this is what you started. I'm blaming this all on Doug Liman. Doggone it. It's his fault. It's his fault. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. John Davis says, the last president I voted for that got elected was Bush, and I'm sorry I voted for him. Well, you voted, though. But that's the last president you voted for? So you didn't vote for Obama because he's black. Dude, jeez Louise. This definitely is Friday night. You're getting stuff like that. Unbelievable. All right. Okay. So, all right. Well, this has been a lively discussion. And he said, that got elected. I voted, oh, you voted a third party. And so PJ says, I don't support Trump, what he supposedly did, but I support him through everything else. PJ, you need to study Trump because your ideas about Trump are not fully formed. Okay? I'm just saying, because I know people who are Republican who don't back Donald Trump at all. ML Scott's chimed in with, it doesn't matter who you vote for, just vote. That's true. Hey, Donis says you better. I'm getting better. Yeah, I'm better. I'm not 100% by any means. If I can go to the gym tomorrow, come out fine. Yeah, okay. And John Davis says, I have voted for local black politicians. Yes, thank you. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Donis, how you doing? Donis, have you heard about Doug Liman's Impulse? Doug, Bible, this is funny. Bible study says, I plan on voting for Trump again. You aren't even old enough to vote. I mean, oh boy, talk about the, it's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Woo. You mean as a first-time voter. You know, if he lasts that long, the way things are going, I keep expecting to get a note from the special prosecutor, you know, Mueller, indicted, President of the United States. Yeah, right. Boy, oh boy. Bible study says you're 18. Yeah, but you weren't 18 for the last presidential election. You're 18 now, but you weren't 18 in 2016. You were not old enough to vote. You didn't turn 18 in 2016 and get stuck there, okay? All right? So, well, in fact, ML's got a point. I thought he was 17. Okay, I thought he was 17. The one thing that we know is that he was not of voting age in 2016, okay? At all. At all. You'll vote him for a second term. Were you going to go to jail with him, though? I'm just asking, as a first-time voter. Okay, now you admit a first-time voter, all right? Well, at least you vote. At least you're making your vote count. That doesn't mean I don't have the right to, like, say, dude. John Davis says, look up Derek Grayson on YouTube. I'd vote for him any day. Okay. And Emil says, I got you, PJ. Laugh out loud. Hey, ML, you got PJ, but I'm not sure PJ's got PJ. It's, you know, if he votes. Let's see if he votes. I seriously doubt PJ actually votes. I'm serious about that. I'm serious about that. I don't think he's going to vote. I don't think he's going to vote. as Donut says, Trump makes Nixon look like a saint. But Donut, you have to tell him PJ who Nixon is, because PJ doesn't know anything about Richard Nixon, which doesn't speak well to, history. Look, I realize I'm being hard on you, PJ, but the whole point is that you're in conversation with people about a president of the United States who has not served the country well. And as people who care about this country, I'm going to have, I'm speaking for myself, some very pointed things to say about how he has not handled the country I love the way that he should have. Okay? So there you go. Especially since his predecessor, Barack Obama, was one of the best presidents we've ever had in history. So you are wrong. All right. So, Donis, you ever heard of Doug Liman's Impulse? And John Davis says, torture is not what America is about. And he was shouting that out. I don't know what you mean. He who. And so PJ says, I'm going to have to disagree with you, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to be quiet now. You can say what you want to say. I reserve the right to disagree with you. Well, it's a free country. Ta-da. John Davis says, Trump was shouting about waterboarding. Oh, God. Well, hey, Obama wasn't. Obama put that practice out, and you didn't vote for Obama, did you? So you're 47 years old, and you don't even know about Obama's track record. That's shameful, dude. That's shameful, dude. All right? All right? PJ says, PJ, you say you're offended, and yet you told me about actions that are racist. So I should say I'm offended. I have the moral ground here to be really offended, to be honest with you. Don't even get me started. John Davis says he was still involved in most of the Middle East wars, just like, well, yeah, Mideast, he got us out of that. We got out of Iraq under Barack. We went over to Afghanistan, and we finished the job over there. And he tried to get us more out of there, okay? So, but I would say in total, we have less involvement in the Middle East because of Barack Obama we've ever had before. And that's a good thing. So we're not perfect, but under Barack Obama, we've headed in the right direction. Yeah. So, again, Donis, do you know anything about Doug Liman's original series Impulse? Impulse, as per its name, Impulse has driven us to this discussion. This impulsive discussion about rights and politics and left politics versus right politics and the president and everything else. Wow. Okay. Aaron Blaylock says, does destroying. Aaron Blaylock wrote, what does that mean? Does destroying. But at any rate, do you know about Doug Liman's Impulse? I mean, this is a heck of a title here. All right. It says it's gender bending. This was the wait a minute. The Bible says that I'm about calling me and my congregation and parents racist. I said your actions are racist. Okay? And they are racist. Okay? And I'm not going to apologize for that. You know they're racist. Not talking about illegal aliens and over the border and all this stuff. That's racist stuff, man. It is racist. It is wrong to have a person and label them as illegal, and in the back of your mind you have an idea what you think that person looks like, when in point of fact you have no idea what a legal alien would look like or who that is. And it's a good portion of the country. It is racist. If you don't want to be thought of as racist, then don't think that way. If you encounter someone who has a problem getting papers to be in this country legally, help them get them, okay? But this witch hunt stuff has got to stop. So if you're offended, no, you're not half as offended as I am by your statements tonight. Not half. You don't have standing. As a person who, I remember when they had the Back to Africa movement in the 60s, I thought someone was going to come and kidnap me and send me to Africa. My mom says, you were born in Chicago. My mom too, or born in Tennessee. But the simple fact of the matter is, to have that kind of fear hanging over your head as the Dreamers do today is sick. And if you condone that, then you're sick. That's wrong to want to harm another person. And it's wrong to say, essentially, oh, the President of the United States is helping me think this way. And that you support the president. And basically, you support a president that supports dividing America. That's what you just said. And then I'm not supposed to be offended? I don't care that you're offended. You can't take the Bible and use that as a tool against people. And that's what you're trying to do. Okay? So there. I'm not going to pay attention to any more of your comments because you sought this out. You came here. All right? I didn't ask you to come here. I came here. I gave you a place within which to do your, vlogging and talking. But it doesn't mean I have to sit here and put up with comments that you make that are inappropriate and that are racist. And I'm not going to do that. If you want me to have a middle ground and say, you know what, I get it, fine. But I'm not going to have you come here and then get angry on my dime, on my platform. That's not what this is about. That's not even mentally healthy. Okay? So I may have to rethink some things about moderation and everything else for that reason, because I don't want people here who have ideas that are harmful to other people. That's harmful. That's shameful. I mean, to want to press them without an exchange, to say, hey, you know what, I respect that other person's opinion, but I'm not going to, and so I'm not going to like push it again and again and again. But you've done that. Karen Christensen has done that big time. Why seek out a place where you know someone is going to disagree with you? What's the fun in that? It's not fun for me. I don't enjoy it. So, impulse, all right? Impulse, okay? Aaron Block says, Leto's destroying Libya account for getting us out of the Mideast from Obama. That whole Libyan thing, I don't know much about. And I need to study more of that before I make an intelligent comment. Okay? Because there's a number, all right? There are a number of people who say that the Libyans did it to themselves. Okay? Now, what that's about, I don't know. I don't have a scholar's view for that. Okay? Somebody else I know does. I don't. So I'm not even going to weigh in on that and say, oh yeah, it was this. I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I know one thing. Impulse by Doug Liman is a heck of a controversial program. It just is. Okay? It just is. You say that Libya is selling slaves? Where's NATO? That's a very good question. If it is true that they're selling slaves, and I'm not questioning that, because I know that human trafficking is a tremendously deep problem today that we have to get rid of. So if it's Libya or some parts of the Pacific Rim, sweatshops out of China supposedly as well. All right. So Donna says Google Arab League. All right, I'll do that right now. Arab League. Hey, do you know about Doug Liman's Impulse? You didn't answer my question, Donis. Arab League. excuse me, Arab League. Donna says, okay, Arab League. All right, Arab League. Arab League is regional organization of Arab states and around North America. Member states of the Arab League. And, okay, profile Arab League. What happened to the Arab League? The future of South Sudan lies with the Arab. South Sudan requests to join Arab League. All right. I can't read this fast enough to absorb it and form a reasoned opinion about the Arab League. What's your point? What's your point? So, yeah, head up, PJ. I mean, here's the thing. I feel bad for the exchange, but I can't knowingly sit here and hear things that I don't agree with. Okay, I just can't, and so it hurts that this young man, is growing up with ideas that, they're hurtful to me, and he doesn't mean to be that way, but they are. I mean, everything, coming up, it's just, that's, this person's bad, that person is an illegal. I mean, it's just a regurgitating of something that comes on television in the worst way. Why? There's no thinking. It's not like, oh, hey, I mean, whatever happened, the old Christians are really insistent on treating people fairly, who, regardless, that, like the Pope. Well, there is a great model, the Pope. Sad, It's sad. I cannot in good conscience, could not sit here and see that written, okay? Oh, Donis, I know about the Arab Spring, yeah. So, wow. John Davis says, I grew up with the same thing, but until you take a look at politics yourself, you tend to believe what your parents do. And I understand that, but I've talked to his mom. His mom doesn't sound like the way he's presenting, okay? And that's, I can't wrap my mind around that. And again, what bothers me and what I'm trying to wrap my head around is how we got to a society where Christians can say that they defend a man whose actions are not Christian. Okay, he's just faking it. And yet that's rampant. And you used to think, why? Just because the guy professes ideas that are white and male and conservative? I mean, what they ought to do is come out and say, okay, yeah, that's the real reason. It's not that we know he's not a conservative, but he represents the side of us that really is not good, but we like to see in power. That would be brutally honest, wouldn't it? I mean, okay. Ugh. No one should want to see anybody, hurt that way, okay? And John Davis, it's like, I feel bad that happened, but Aaron Blaylock says politicians have too much sway in churches. A lot of believers listen to Rush Limbaugh more than the word because they were told that he represents their values. Yeah, and he doesn't. I know Rush Limbaugh's ex-wife. I can tell you Rush Limbaugh is not a saint, okay? But he gets on these media airwaves to make money and push a particular idea. And then people believe it, get manipulated by him, and whew. John Davis says, my cousins get mad at me for putting a video on Facebook showing Trump cursing at different events, and yet they keep defending the guy. Yeah, for what reason? I mean, what is it about Trump and their desire to hate Why is their desire to hate so powerful? Is it that they're not rich? They feel that somebody else is getting something that they don't have? There's something back there, you know? Or is it just plain, or is it that they're attracted by plain evil? You know, Barack Obama was purely a good man. Why not back a person who's purely good? Because he was purely good? Right? You know, it's really weird. It is really weird. All right, it is also 1:04 in the morning. Wow. Okay, so Doug Liman's impulse. You heard about it here. It's controversial. It leads to controversial conversations. It is an uncomfortable thing to talk about, an uncomfortable subject matter to present and deal with. I'm curious to know more, and I will inform you of more. All right. Good night, everybody. It's been a lively conversation. And John says, most Christians back Trump up, so they seem to have to do the same. Is that true, though? That most Christians back him up? I wonder about that. Anyway, I'll see you all. Thank you. Thank you. Remember, impulse. It was lively, wasn't it, Emma? That was a lively one. I'm sure. I hope you enjoyed your popcorn. I haven't had one like that in a while. Yeah, that was good. You know, that was unfortunately took a turn that I didn't want it to take, but oh well. All right, see you guys later. All right.